Okay. Welcome one and all to this round 13 Adelaide Footy League clash between the Brighton Bombers and the Sacred Heart Old Collegians. Brighton Bombers with 3 wins, 1 draw and 8 loss record in 9th position, and Sacred Heart with a 10-2 record so far after 12 rounds. We had a week off last week, which was fantastic. You would have seen us with our Div 2 coverage for Breakthrough Mental Health. Now this week we're back to Division 1 action. Classic Clashes bringing all the action, celebrating grassroots greatness. I'm your host, Matty Gale, and joining me today is Dinez Karakaya, and we'll just quickly go through some of our pre-game work there. Before we go in, Brighton Bombers, I've just got a smell in the air for a bit of an upset today. Sacred Heart, with 5 wins on the trot, will get tested with Brighton with nothing to lose and just a game and a half off 3rd position, with everything to gain and nothing to lose, the home team. We'll go to our broadcaster here, and Dinez Karakaya, with the match day sponsor.
Yes, Classic Clashes. We're proud to announce the media truck is now live and operating and is a first across Australian media. With a massive spotter screen on the side and commentating facilities above, we are capable of broadcasting a multitude of events including sports of all types, community events, film nights, plus much more. We'll be announcing the arrival of the truck in SA shortly, which will showcase the many options available. In exciting news, we have sponsor and collaboration places available, including naming rights and advertising options for 2025. Don't miss this huge opportunity to create a unique way to bring branded awareness to your valued customers, potential customers, sponsors and supporters. Classic Clashes, celebrating grassroots greatness.
Thank you very much, Dinez. Now we're looking at the middle of the ground, about to toss the coin here. And the Brighton Bombers captain, Otis Carthy, winning the toss. He's going to kick to the left of your screen. Sacred Heart kicking to the right of your screen. The ground conditions, as you can see, it is a mud cake out there at the moment. It is going to be a very, very sloppy, wintry type conditions affair. The temperature at the moment is 13.9 degrees. Feels like 9 degrees. Feels quite nippy at ground level. Looking for a top of 15 degrees. And there's forecast for 2 to 6 mils of rain. We've been pretty lucky thus far. We've had pretty open blue skies, but we can see some rain clouds in the distance from the Adelaide Hills, and I'm sure there's plenty coming off the ocean as well. Dinez, it was a pretty bit of a blowout in the B grade, which was first place Sacred Heart taking on 10th place Brighton Bombers.
Yes, it was 10-12 Sacred Heart against 2-2 14 Brighton Bombers. Very much worked in the favour of Sacred Heart.
Yeah, 58-point margin to the top of the table leaders in the Brighton Bombers. Now, we need to give some appreciation to our wonderful sponsors who make our broadcasting such an easier job.
Yes, so thank you to our sponsors, Filming Footy, Sports Interactive, Div 1 Adelaide Footy League, Scoreboard, brought to you by Sportle and Han Ultra Zero Carb, great taste, Ultra Zero Carb, how good.
So Filming Footy, all the footy stats which we brought to you last week on our analysis, they're powered by Dartfish. The Farmers League Coach of the Week Award. And the best on ground will receive a pair of Archie's thongs. Absolutely magnificent thongs, like walking around and getting a massage at the same time. And the wonderful Snag of the Day, which is sponsored by Jed Meatworks down there at Arndale Shopping Centre. Who will jag the snag of the day this week? And we've seen some tremendous goals kicked in our previous classes since we've been utilising this wonderful sponsor. As we mentioned, last round, Brighton were lost away from home by a margin of 18 points, and with Sacred Heart have had 5 wins on the trot. And the past 6 games for Brighton Bombers, 2 wins, 1 draw and 3 losses. One of the amazing things about the Brighton Bombers, they stay in games. Their average losing margin is only 23 points, and 8 out of their 12 games have been decided by less than 20 points. I suspect we've got a bottler on our hands here, Dinez.
Yes, it will be an interesting game that will likely be a bit one-sided, but we'll see to confirm.
Okay, players just making their way to positions. As you can see, the wonderful and outstanding Indigenous Guernsey worn by the Brighton Bombers this afternoon. And big thank you to Ricky O'Loughlin, John Cock, who's one of the key designers. All the players right through the junior levels wearing the jersey, and a wonderful initiative by the Brighton Bombers. I'm really looking forward to seeing what Jakey Tarker can produce up forward for the Brighton Bombers. We remember his debut game against Tea Tree Gully last year, kicking 4 goals in the wet. He was using a dry footy, where the rest of the 35 players on the field were using a wet footy. Suspect there's going to be lots of stoppages and ball ups in this game, and tackling will be a key feature throughout. Once again, thank you to Classic Clashes and our broadcast partners, Filming Footy and Sports Interactive. With the action about to get underway in this first quarter, and we've got Denez Karakaya who's going to start us off from the middle, and it looks like Big Noble who's going to kick it off in the ruck there. Big Bradley Noble, one of the best big men in the competition, up in the ruck. So players just momentarily waiting. Now let's kick it off.
All right, umpire's thrown the ball up. A good tap there by Brighton, who kick it towards their end. Doesn't necessarily go into anyone. A good punch in the air with players running towards the wall. Bit slippery conditions. An almost attempt into the goals. Unfortunately, went behind.
So first score on the Sport of Scoreboard goes to Sacred Heart Old Collegians. A rush behind. Nice kick out, just makes it just in the moment of time. Bit of a fingertipper there for Otis Carthy, the captain. He's got to switch on, goes to Ricky O short, dangerous kick. There's Ricky O up to, he's in a 1-on-3 now. Plenty of players to clean up. One is Seb Kerrish, goes in board in game 50. He's asked to play on, kicks to the hot spot, no one really at home. Rushed hand pass out, gets it in the direction of Higgins. I think it's a free upfield. And Jack Loy, they'll take the ball back to Jack Loy. It's just a push after his disposal was given, that hand pass towards Higgins. Now is asked to play on, so Lloyd comes to our broadcast side. High kick, pushed in the back, almost there was Keane. So they get a sweeping hand pass out to Ricky O'Loughlin, John Cock. Goes down the line to Jakey Tarker. Tarker's been a magnificent touch. 7 goals in his last 2 outings. Goes down the line. Need to work hard to keep that in play. And it's a beautiful mark on the end there by Keynes. So Keynes, the round 12 best player for Brighton, goes into the 45, no one home, and Kerrish easily chips it off.
Yes, takes a little bit of time weighing up his options. Bit indecisive here, can be hard with these conditions. Goes for a short kick down the line to McDermott. Goes for another short kick, not putting it in wrist, to Brinkworth. Goes for a long kick into the middle, straight into the hands of McAuliffe. Goes for a wide kick towards the far side of the field, trying to keep the ball in. Fortunately was unsuccessful. Brighton gained possession. Goes for a long kick. Doesn't necessarily go into the hands of anyone. Players rushing after the ball. Intercepted there by Sacred Heart, who worked to get it towards their side of the oval. Again, goes out on the boundary with the umpire about to throw the ball in.
So this afternoon's game brought to you by Classic Clashes, celebrating grassroots greatness. Left half forward for Sacred Heart. Both teams already ventured inside forward 50 with no return. Only the one behind on the Sportal Scoreboard here for Sacred Heart. So Simons rush with his hand pass. Kerrish goes off the deck. Ball not gaining much momentum, even though it's more the lusher part of the Brighton Oval. Umpires found a free kick for a high tackle. So Brighton got the switch on if they can go wide enough. Bit of a dangerous ploy, but they go down the line. Beautiful left foot kick, looking kick coming over the top there with no mark taken. Almost a little bit of a Bianco contender. And as we mentioned before, this will be a pretty key feature of the game with plenty of ball-ups to take place. So Segal stays in the Brighton lineup after being named in the Crows initially as one of their top-up players. Kerrish, quick kick out of the clearance there. He's had a terrific start to this clash already. Dishes out the hand pass out to Ty Murphy. Murphy with a high up and under long raking kick. No mark taken, ball comes to ground. Some smart work there by Tarka at ground level. Sorry, not Tarka at ground level. This one will go towards Tarka. Just needs to run onto a Tarka, and he does! And a magnificent start, and a little bit of a snag of the day contender early doors for Jag Meatworks. As Tarka, always dangerous in this situation. Fortuitously, the ball just got stuck in the mud, literally. And right place, right time with the leg speed, and an opportunist goal to Jakey Tarka. And he fires the first shot for Sportle. On the Sportle scoreboard, it's Brighton 1 straight 6. Sacred Heart 1 point. We're about 4.5 down first term.
Yes, has been a great start. We are definitely seeing lots of stoppages, and there will be more to come, especially with the rain if it does decide to rain. Got players in position in the middle, with the umpire throwing the ball up. Not necessarily a tap there, but Brighton grabbed possession, intercepted there by Sacred Heart, and we have another stoppage. Oh, no, goes into the hands of Moore, kicks it long into the forward 50, a great mark there. It's about 35 out from goals on a bit of an angle. Will be Simmons, who will potentially go for goals. It's definitely lining up for goals as he starts approaching. Follows with a beautiful kick straight down the middle. Umpire does not move his head, and it is Sacred Heart's first goal. Point.
So minor score there to Sacred Heart. Sportle scoreboard 1 straight 6. Plays 2 behinds. 6 minutes down first term. So playing on from that full back position kick out. Beautiful left foot poke. Unfortunately, Colado's right in the prime position. The big man. Just looks like he switched in the ruck. Hits the hot spot looking for a tall target. Comes off hands there of Venning. Ball comes to ground. Quick kick out of the contest. One for the high flies. No mark taken. Ball comes to ground. Venning again. Being kept busy in his defensive 50. And the umpire says my ball. So Simon's having a shot on goal and not making a full fist of it. Injury interrupted year so far for the captain, Clayton Simons. So Collado does the groundwork there. Sorry, it's Hart's Horn. Under a fair amount of pressure there, the Brighton defence. Umpire gives them the benefit of the doubt in these extremely tough conditions. So ball thrown up about 20 from home. Hart's Horn's just pushed out of the contest and could have been given a free kick, but wasn't. So we'll have a repeat stoppage here. This time a boundary throw-in variety. So Hart Sean. Ball comes out the back, well read. And again, plenty of tackling on display. We'll have another repeat ball up 30 metres from home. Sacred Heart looking to open their account in the goal column. Good tap down. Plenty of roving support. Brighton with plenty of numbers behind the pill. Quick kick out of there. In the end by Bruin. It's taken on the last line of defence for Brighton Bombers.
Yes, it was a beautiful mark there, just at the time that was necessary. Went for its short kick. With Brighton weighing up their options, taking their time, and not risking these kicks. Goes for a bit of a longer kick into the forward, into the middle ground. Intercepted there by Sacred Heart. But Brighton game session, some quick hand
free throw will proceed. So Brighton playing with a counter-attack style. Whenever they have the ball in hand, they're looking to really sharply move that ball and get it down there quickly as possible. Whereas Sacred Heart love that defensive structure. I think that's come off a player's foot. Umpire not seeing any of that and says throw it in again, thanks. So repeat throw in. Kakuro to do battle with Venning. So it's Loy versus Harthorn. Harthorn takes the front position. Just throws him away there. That's an amazing tackle. And we'll have another repeat ball up. So 10 minutes down. It's a 4-point margin in favour of the home team on the Sportal scoreboard. Probably one of the longest periods of time that Sacred Heart have had to be patient and persist to get their first goal of the day. And then we're just edging ever so closely forward. About 20 from home now. Ball comes out the back. Kerridge comes into the contest in game number 50. That looks like a high tackle. Unfortunately, the umpire's vision is obscured. And there's going to be a real strong game of percentages today and metres gained. It's a good tap from the back there. Ball comes to ground and gang tackled. And they'll just roll him ever so closely forward towards his towards the 50-metre arc.
Yes, the ball hasn't really moved much from that area, but both teams are managing to hold on to the pressure. Brighton gaining possession, some short handballs, go for a long kick, clearing it out of the forward line. Ooh, a good intercept there by Brighton. Bit of a misjudged small kick, goes back into the hands of Brighton, into the hands of Evans. Weighing up his options, goes for a long kick, lots of players lining up, goes straight into the hands of Sacred Heart. Goes for a long kick towards the far end of the field, followed by a short kick, keeping the ball near the boundary side, working quite strategically here to move that ball. Unfortunately, goes out on the boundary. With another boundary throw in the middle from the middle of the grounds. Sacred Heart grabbing possession, working to get the ball back into their forward 50, but a great mark there by Brighton. Goes for a short kick on the far boundary side. Both teams are doing well to maintain their pressure here, not taking too many risks as of yet.
So Warner goes out wide looking for Bennett. Plays on with a no-look hand pass, dangerous to Murphy. Almost goes back to the 1-2, goes backwards to go forwards. Some good work by Venning, support there, not his best kick. That's quick chip out of there looking for Warner. Needs some support. They get the switch of the hand passes. Clever work there by Gluyas. He gets the ball on and a 1-on-3 to his brother Joe Gluyas. And it looks like he's done here. And the umpire gives him the benefit of the doubt as the two number 3s meet right in front of our broadcast box. Strong tackling by Murphy. So Noble almost goes up uncontested again. Goes to Warner, gets it on his left foot and just dribbles off, and the umpire says that's holding the ball to Henry McAuliffe. So McAuliffe has Simons on. Simon's on that far side, goes shorter to Sam Bruin. Bruin plays on. Goes deep, probably a little bit too deep. Seagal comes over the top. Has some support there in Higgins. Needs a kind bounce, and he does. So Higgins, some great work cleaning up. So Brighton looks like they're away, or are they? Oh, tough work there. Umpire's paid the mark. Could have been 25, but he's given the benefit of the doubt there. Yeah, players pleading for the 25, and he's already made his mind up here, the umpire. Very rarely see an umpire change his mind. So, coming off with a bit of a corky out of that marking contest. He's probably going to have to come to the bench. So, play just held up momentarily. As we wait for Jed Farquhar to come back onto the Brighton Oval. Amazingly enough, it's his first A-grade game in 700 days. Made his debut back in round 18, 2022. So umpires called time on. We're back into it. Colodo, strong hands, the big man. Great gloves. Big Dukes are up. We're close to a 50 for wasting time. So Colodo goes to the hot spot. Looking for Hartshawn. No mark taken. Beautiful mark taken by Seagal. So Seagal switches play. They're going to rely on his wealth of experience at the higher level. Seagal, Adelaide Crows top up player. So they're still out on that far side. Looking for Warner. He's pushed out of that contest. Ball comes to ground. There's about 10 players within a 2 metre radius there. And it's... will be a ball up, left half forward for Sacred Heart.
Yes, it seems like a bit of a hotspot for the congestion on the field today. Ball goes up, a great tap there by Brighton, clearing it straight out and holding on to possession, going into the hands of Higgins. Goes for a long kick along the boundary line and marked beautifully there, remaining... Oh, not marked there. Goes back into the possession of Sacred Heart.
We go with it, Footy!
Goes straight towards the forward 50 line. Brighton kicking the ball back the same way. Lots of players rushing to the ball, not necessarily going to the hands of anyone, with the ball now going into Brighton's forward 50 line. Grabbing a hold and kicking. Kicking with a behind for Brighton.
So Tarka was a man left wanting there. He was in the goal square by himself. It was 2-on-1. And ended up rushing that and could have really run it to the goal line and gave the Joe the Goose over to Jakey Tarka, but nothing doing. So just needed some composure there, Brighton. And chip it out of defence, and they find Lewis Benudo. Benudo goes short, got a couple of options on, and almost punched the ball away from each other there, the Sacred Heart defenders. Right in front of Joey Gluyas. So ball thrown in, left half forward, right on the 50-metre arc here for Brighton, who could have made more of that latest opportunity. There should be 2 goals up. So Farquhar gets the tap. Nice work, looking for some support. Some good work there at ground level by Chalmers. Here's a chance here, left foot snapper, rush the kick again. Straight through the middle of the points for a minor score on the Sportal scoreboard. It is Brighton 1-2-8, 6-point margin. Almost 18 minutes down, first turn.
Yes. With a difference of 6 on the scoreboard, Sacred Heart go for a long, quite high kick towards the boundary line. Not marked, with the ball being a bit slippery, congestion forming. Struggling to get the ball up. Umpires called over and it will be a stoppage. Umpire throws the ball up. Great tap there by Brighton, but can't remain in contact with the ball, with Sacred Heart intercepting, then back into the hands of Brighton. Ball's called back and is paid to Sacred Heart. Goes for a long kick. Doesn't go into the hands of anyone. Sacred Heart running after the ball, grabbing hold, remaining in hold. Goes into the forward 50. Players rushing to the ball to grab a hold, but another stoppage.
So ball to be thrown in 20 metres from home for Sacred Heart. Yet to open their account on the Sportal scoreboard in the goals department.
5 minutes to go, mate.
So 5 minutes remaining. Very fortunate enough to have the timekeepers right next to us in the sport or scoreboard commentary position. So Ricky O dishes out the back. I've got a string of hand passes, got another one on in the middle, just needs to remain calm and clean. The endeavour's been brilliant by Brighton, and Coach Backwell will be very, very happy with his troops so far. Higgins just can't pick it up at the crucial phase. And some strong tackling, and that seemed as a dangerous tackle, and it could be 25. As Blake Higgins just remonstrating there and almost giving a concussion away. Blake Higgins, you want to really watch himself there, because Tom McDermott was taken down and he was nowhere near the contest. So ball brought back here to Cooper Wilkins, 20-year-old. Played his first A-grade game in our previous round back in round 12. And he's a Port Lincoln boy, so he's come through the Sacred Heart College system. So Wilkins, deliberate approach, close to the man on the mark, and it drifts early to the right for a minor score. And on the Sportal scoreboard, it's 1-2-8, plays 3 behinds. 5-point margin, 20.5 minutes down, first term.
All right, Brighton's back in possession. Decides to almost play on, but goes for a kick. Congestion forms, a punch in the air, goes into the hands, remains in the hands of Brighton. Kick there, goes into the possession of Brighton. Intercepted, doesn't really go into the hands of anyone. A good tackle applied by Sacred Heart. With the umpire throwing the ball up. Not tapped by anyone, cleared out of the congestion. Brighton grab a hold, try and stay in hold, but the ball's proving to be slippery. High kick there, doesn't go into the hands of anyone, and we'll have another stoppage with a pack forming. Ball goes up, tapped, and a good tackle applied there by Moore. Ball has not moved from the congestion. Another ball up. No one managed to tap. Handballed out of the pack. Tried to stay in hold, but Sacred Heart intercepted. Smith kicks it long. Goes back in the opposite direction. Into the hands of McCarthy. A handball there, followed by another handball. Goes for another handball, playing strategically with these handballs. Tries to snap it through. Play is a bit rushed and congestion forming just out the front of the goals for Sacred Heart.
146.
So 1:45 remaining on the clock here in the first term. Can Sacred Heart sneak a late goal here? They've got one out the back. Some good work by Warner. Just upended there. Getting a kick out of there was Otis Carthy. Goes long, gains some much needed yardage here for Brighton. They've looked the better of the two teams so far. Clever work off the ground. Just needs to keep it in. Needs some support more than anything. And found the position he needed, which was over the line, and the ball will be thrown out right half forward for the Brighton Bombers. They're unlucky not to be another goal or two in front here. So heading into time on first term, and there won't be much more time on the clock. We've probably got a minute remaining. Just got the salute there. So 1 minute remaining in the first term. Not much time on when you've only got one goal scored on the Sportal scoreboard. Some smart work in the ruck there by Book, who read it like a book. And we'll have another repeat throw in. Brighton just grinding their teeth out here and getting those yardage where they can. So 24 minutes down on the Sportal scoreboard, about 40 seconds remaining. And Coach Brett Back will be very, very delighted with his charges and what they've been able to produce under really testing conditions here. Warner goes the third man up. He's done this terrifically well, as has Ricky O, who's running onto the ball. Went straight through with a steam train. I reckon Ricky O'Loughlin's done some damage over there. Could be an arm or an elbow injury or potential shoulder. Got his wing clipped as he went through to try and pick that ball up off the ground. The way he's walking, he might have a corky to go with it. So 42 seconds remaining. And O'Loughlin looks like his day might just about be done. He's just trying to get some blood flowing through the leg. No, he's okay. So ball thrown up. Good tap work there by the big man from Brighton. And just ever so closely gaining some traction towards their goals. About 45 from home. Can they sneak a late one? So goes out towards Warner. Gets a crook old bounce, Warner. He's up to the contest and a strong tackle. And we'll have the ball up 51 metres now from home for the Brighton Bombers. So it'd be hard to see Sacred Heart scoring again this quarter. Only seconds remaining. And Lachlan Johncock looks like he's recovered from his little hit just a minute ago. And there's the sign about the sound. So on the Sportal scoreboard at quarter time. We've got a bit of an upset brewing. Brighton 1-8. Sacred Heart only the 3 minors. Coach Brett Backwell will be delighted with his Bombers first quarter, and player coach Collotto, well, he probably couldn't wait to get his boys into the huddle because their defensive structure's been falling down, and it's not a real suited day to their team, to their game style. But for Classic Clashes and Filming Footy and Sports Interactive, we'll bring back the second quarter after these key messages. So quick second quarter action about to get underway. We've got the one sole goal kicker. It's Jakey Tarker. He's got the snag of the day contender because he's only got the only goal on the Sportal scoreboard. But an interesting first quarter, and it was Brighton who come out of the blocks extremely well and played this game down to a T, which is counter-attacking type football. They realise that Sacred Heart's got plenty of firepower, but they're willing to move that ball quickly and get the likes of Jakey Tarker one-on-one inside the forward 50, and they did it perfectly down to a T in the first term. So the second quarter action brought to you by Classic Clashes, celebrating grassroots greatness, filming footy and Sports Interactive. It is Danez Karakay to get us underway in the second term.
All right, the ball's gone up, kind of remaining in the glue pocket with players struggling to get it out. You can see the mud splashing all around as they're trying to grip onto the ball. Good tackle there, applied by Henry McCarthy. No, not Henry, by Scott Nerlich. My mistake. Umpire's thrown the ball up. Great tap there by Brighton. A quick snap out. And good tackle there by Brighton. The players calling for a ball, and umpire will pay it. In the hands of Perry. Goes for a high kick. Not into the hands of anyone in particular, into the forward line. Players rushing to grab a hold. Sacred Heart intercept and snap it straight back the same way. Another kick by Brighton from the forward line into the forward line. Going to the side. Players trying to keep it in. Sacred Heart grab a hold. Quick handball there. Brighton intercept again, trying to kick the ball in. Will be a boundary throw-in. Just out of the boundary.
Ball to be thrown in right in front of our broadcast box here for Classic Clashes, celebrating grassroots greatness. What a fierce opening term we've had. Farquhar gets the ball down, comes in the direction here of Ethan Moore. Can barely see his number. Well done by Farquhar. First game in the A-grade team for 700 days. Strong work by Otis Carthy. Almost pushed him out of the contest there at ground level. And the fierce and determination here by the Brighton Bombers has been tremendous so far. So ball thrown up, Farquhar and no ball. Farquhar goes out of mid-air. Gains about 15 metres, but it'll be the last position out of bounds. So Farquhar coming up against one of the best tap ruckmen in the Adelaide Footy League Division 1 and Big Bradley Noble. So almost given the opportunity to play on out of that position. Farquhar comes off his hands, goes to his direct opponent out the back of Noble. Strong tackle by Warner, holds the ball up. And we'll have another ball up right in front of our broadcast box here for Classic Clashes. Farquhar and Noble, neither player getting the ascendancy in that ruck contest. Ball comes out, quick kick forward. Worked by Fox, stuck in the mud there is Kerish. Hartshaw gets it out to Cololo, they've got some runners on, they're queuing up. McAuliffe just needs to size himself up with composure. Finds a puddle, and it'll be last position out of bounds for the Brighton Bombers.
Bit of a missed opportunity there for the Brighton Bombers, but Sacred Heart do a long kick on the far boundary line with Brighton intercepting and grabbing a hold. Go for a long kick towards the forward 50 line. Sacred Heart intercepting and clearing it back the other way, going over the boundary line. Brighton in possession on the far oval side of the boundary, go for a long kick into the forward 50, doesn't remain quite in. Umpire will do a boundary throw in just out the front of the 50-metre arc. Lots of players rushing to the ball, trying to tap it out. Brighton, quick handball, followed by a quick kick. Goes out once again. She'll be another boundary throw-in.
So the ball will be thrown in 25 metres from home for Brighton. They've had the ball in their forward half for the majority of this second term. Almost 5 minutes underway. We're yet to get a score from either side on the scoreboard in this second term. It's been a pretty fierce contest with the pressure meter right up for both teams, particularly in the Brighton Bombers department. They've led the way with their pressure and their gang tackling. It's a strong punch out of the ruck contest, and we'll have a repeat throw in again on that far side. About 55 from home for Brighton. Brighton with a 3-3 home record this season, so they won all their games at home. And Sacred Heart with a very impressive 5 wins and 1 loss away from Sacred Heart. Ball comes out the back there to McDermott. Quick kick out of the contest. Collado is well punched away there in the end. So a bit of a luxury to have Jarman Segal back in that lineup. And he's going to have to play his part back there with the Collado and Hartshorn varieties. The ball will be thrown up again. That left half forward for the Brighton Bombers.
The umpire's thrown the ball up with players hurting around the ball, trying to get a hold of it and not have it slip away from their hands. So it will be another ball up. Great tap there by Brighton, who get a hold. A quick snap there, bit ill-directed, goes into the hands of Simmons. Simmons follows it with another short kick to Byrne. Some strategic play there, goes into the hands of Sanderson. Sacred Heart working well there, but intercepted there by Murphy. Sacred Heart grabbing a hold of the ball again, Sanderson. Dodging a few plays there with Simmons. With Sacred Heart holding a possession of the ball. They're doing well with the pressure building. Short kick there, followed by a long kick on the far boundary line. With the ball going out on the boundary side.
So a little bit of to do on that far side after that contest between Jack Loy and Hartshorn. This is a bit of a get to know you. So Noble up against Farquhar. Been a good build up from Sacred Heart in the last couple of minutes. They've had a bit more of a cleaner ball movement, passages of ball movement. It again hasn't translated to anything on the scoreboard. Noble gets the tap. Great tap in the end, almost worth a kick. Beautiful tackle, strong tackle, and is rewarded for effort. So the defensive pressure has been supreme here from the Brighton Bombers, a real key feature. Prepared to use these short chips just to gain the yardage that they need. Got Warner on the 45 in the middle. Decides to go longer, does Murphy. Great hit on the contest. Tarker's at ground level there. No, he's out the back here. And the ball will race out towards the boundary line. That'll be last possession out of bounds in favour of Sacred Heart. We switch on immediately to Simons. Simons has got the switch on, goes the left peg. Finds Brinkworth. Brinkworth has Darcy Gluyas on. Gluyas just chips down the line. Finds the chest of Dewhurst. So Dewhurst yet to kick a goal for Sacred Heart. Gets the ball down the line and it trickles out of play off the hands there of Jackson Fox. He'll have a boundary throw in right in front of the Sacred Heart coach's box.
Yes, with the umpire flapping his hands, the ball is difficult to hold on to with these conditions. And almost that mark there by Noble. Sacred Heart grab a hold. The short kick there, followed by a quick handball to Kernish. Kernish dodges a bit to Moore. Moore follows it with a kick. Bit ill-directed, goes into the hands of Brighton. Great mark there. Weighs up his options. Goes straight down the line to Murphy. Murphy also weighing up his options. Goes for a longer kick. With players running to the ball, going straight into the glue pot. Grabbing a hold. Handball there by Brighton. No one grabs a hold yet. Players trying to glue hands onto the ball. Bit of a pack forms, cleared out with a handball. Sacred Heart clear it out into the glue pot again. The oval with Brighton.
So the umpire's found a free kick in the middle of the ground for a push. That's coming back to Kakuro. So playing a different position this year. Normally kicks massive amounts of goals, but he's had an injury interrupted season. So Kakuro goes inside forward 50 on the rare occasion. Some smart work there by Seagal. Fortuitous, he lands in the lap there of Warner. So Warner uses his leg speed and drives away from the contest, gets a kick down the line. Unfortunately, will be chimed off and is. So Sacred Heart just starting to get that defensive structure into play. Go on the 45 towards the boundary. They've still got the switch on. So a long kick in the Colorado direction. Well punched away from that contest. It's still in play, although it just trickles out at the last second for a boundary throw-in. And we're the best part of 11 and a half minutes down in this second term with either team yet to score. It's been goals will be like diamonds. Probably 7 goals will be enough to win this game. Definitely if you get the 10, you're probably going to have a 4 or 5 goal win. So ball thrown in. Kerrish with a clean set of heels. Goes out the back. Here's an opportunity. Left foot snapper. Almost a one-hander. He's dragged it in, Colorado. Great mark by the playing coach, using his wealth of experience over 120 games at the SANFL level at South Adelaide. Hard to keep a good player down as he's smart. He just tries to improve the angle with the umpire not watching. So can they kick their first goal? It's almost been 37 minutes of football. Colorado direct approach. Does it slide across? It does. So they're yet to kick a goal here. And on the Sportal scoreboard, it is Brighton by the narrowest of margins. 6 points on the Sportal scoreboard. Sorry, 4 points on the Sportal scoreboard. We've had 12 and a half minutes second term.
Ball comes back straight out the front of the commentating. A quick handball there to Seagal. Bit misjudged there with the ball slipping the opposite direction and going out on play. Simmons, short kick down the line, followed by quick handball there into the hands of McCauley. Goes into the forward 50. Good tackle there applied by McDermott. Umpire's going to do a ball up. Goes into the hands of Sacred Heart. Try and grab a hold. Brighton intercepting, quick handballs. Few down the line. Goes for a long kick. Not into the hands of anyone, into the hands of DeWorth. Sacred Heart grabbing a hold back of the possession. Moore goes for a kick. Remains in the possession of Sacred Heart. A quick handball there. Followed by a kick, but fortunately hit the post.
So all clear, says the umpire, as Lewis Benudo kicks the first goal for Sacred Heart. That's about 28 minutes of action, and they finally hit the front. So Sportal scoreboard 1-4-10, favouring Sacred Heart. Brighton 1-2. Not getting the reward for effort. They've done a lot of hard yards here at Brighton, without the reward on the scoreboard for Sportal. So back to the middle. And it's Big Book in the ruck against Noble. The ball thrown up. Bit of jostling off the ball here. Noble goes with the kick off the ground. Goes inside forward 50, looking for 2 in a minute. Should have gone the ball there in the end, Jack Lloyd, and didn't. And the umpire seen a free kick. Strong tackling. So Big Book throwing his weight around. So kick down the line in the direction of Book. Almost taken by the big man. Some smart work away from that contest by Gluyas. Handball from Dewhurst. Wasn't his best. Slippery Pool playing for the free kick there. And umpire says my ball. We'll have a ball up at left half forward for Sacred Heart. So Noble, massive punch. Plenty of Brighton defenders at the bottom of this ball here. Some smart work. So plenty of players from Sacred Heart just looking to clean up. One of them, Big Noble, goes to Dewhurst. His ball smothered. Plenty of strong tackling and pressure at the top of the 50. And the umpire says my ball. Just over 16 and a half, just over 16 minutes gone on the Sportal scoreboard. It's a 2-point margin in favour of Sacred Heart.
Umpire's throwing the ball back up. Good tap there by Brighton, grabbing a hold. Quick handball there, followed by another handball. Slapping a kick. Oh, and almost marked there. Players working to get the ball out of the pack. Sacred Heart intercepting. Looked like a throw. It was a handball. Ball's paid to Brighton, to Higgins. Higgins goes for a short kick. Followed by another short kick, with Brighton holding on to the ball here. Weighing up his options, plays shuffling around the field a bit. Goes for a long kick. Sacred Heart intercepting, grabbing a hold, followed by a quick snap there. McDermott kicking it towards the goals. And it's a goal for Sacred Heart. Their second goal, bringing the scores to 8-16.
Just waiting on that goal kick. I don't think McDermott was the ended up kicking that. Just wait for players to turn around. I think it is Cooper Wilkins who kicked the goal. So the ball just landed just shy of the goal line, and Cooper Wilkins just did a simple soccer off the ground to complete the job. And all of a sudden, Sacred Heart out to a little handy 8-point buffer. 19-minute mark, second term. So Noble just starting to get on top in the ruck. Gets another big thump out of the middle. Umpire's found a free kick for holding on. And he's found it in favour there of Curtis Perry. So pushes off his mark. Comes out to our broadcast side. Looking there for Keens. Couldn't take the mark. Sanderson's ball smothered off his boot. Strong tackling by Carthy. Looks like he's given away the free kick. Not much in it. But enough when it's right under the umpire's eyelids. And that's a free kick to Tommy McDermott. So McDermott will enjoy a shower after this game. Goes the direction of Noble, but won't find him. And well chimed in there was Finlay Bennett. So Bennett's got Loy on the 45, decides to ignore that target. He's got one right in the middle there. Needs to hit it, but it can't quite hit his target. Carish, dangerous left footer. Goes towards Hartshorn, almost throwing, but goes to McAuliffe, who just dribbles one inside forward 50 for a bit of a foot race, prepared to back his own speed. Bumped off at the crucial fave, and a really consolidated bump allows himself to get that one out of play. We'll have the ball boundary throw in about 35 from home for Sacred Heart.
With Classic Clashes celebrating grassroots greatness, could be a great opportunity for Sacred Heart to further that buffer. With the umpire throwing in from the boundary, inside the forward 50 for Sacred Heart, players trying to grab a hold. A quick kick there by Simmons, tap there. With the ball being paid to Brighton.
Steering, 5:20.
Goes for a long kick on the commentating side of the field. Pack forming, players trying to snap it out. Bounces off a player and goes out on the boundary.
So ball to be thrown in, or on the 50-metre arc here for Sacred Heart, who've had the flow of play in this second term. Brighton yet to score. Narrow, shallow throw in. Farquhar gets a fair fist on it. Even the boundary umpire having some difficulties in the conditions. So time on second term. Only 3 goals in the contest. Good work by Farquhar. And Brighton Bombers' test has been their depth. 27 players leaving the club in the off-season. Leaves the cupboard a bit bare when the depth is tested. It's a quick kick out of the contest. That's touched off the booter there of Carthy. And ball will be thrown in. Got in front of the Sacred Heart coach's box. Next goal, very crucial and critical in the context of the game. So Ethan Moore not very, very happy with the treatment he's receiving off the ball. Getting tagged this afternoon by Dylan Lang. Ended up being a falcon off the boot there of Farquhar. So Dylan Lang, just like a bee in a bonnet over there, just really buzzing around and giving on a bit of stick there to McDermott and Moore. Good tap out the back there. Taken high was McDermott. Unfortunately, Carthy overcommitted in the contest. So too far out to score. Wands onto that beautiful licking left foot. Goes deep in the direction of Colotto, and that's a golden fist to the car park. They'll have a boundary throw in. About 25 from home here for the Sacred Heart Old Collegians.
Not long left, with about 3 minutes of play to go as we wait for the ball to come back from the car park. Has been quite a low scoring game, which is as expected with these conditions. Sun looks like it's coming out a bit, but the clouds are still very present up high. It's currently an 8-17 lead with Sacred Heart. Ball comes thrown in, great tap there by Sacred Heart. Tries to grab a holding quick snap, doesn't quite work, but a great mark there by Brighton. Could kick it, clear it straight out. Player playing on. Ball drops. Umpire does see the foul play and will pay it to Brighton. Players all moving forwards. Goes for a long kick into the forward 50 line. Not marked there. Brighton still hold. Quick handball. Goes into the hands of Sacred Heart. Tackle applied. Pack forming. In the forward 50, about 35 out from goals. Umpire will do a ball up. Great tap there by Brighton. Quick mark. Snap there. Doesn't go to any Brighton players. Sacred Heart intercepting into the hands of Simmons. Simmons clears it out. Another mark there. Strategic play here. Followed by a short kick. And marked by Smith. Smith weighs up his options. Goes for a kick down the line. Not marked there. Ball rolling around a bit. Picked up off the ground. Goes intercepted there into the hands of Brighton.
So Loy goes backwards. Got Jama Segal over the top. Gnaws that and goes a longer target out towards the Sportal scoreboard side. So gaining some composure here, Brighton. Can they sneak a late one? Not much time left. So a minute and a half remaining. And a great mark there in the end. Not paid to Sanderson. This one will be. And that's a mark there to Fox. Through centre wing. So Fox plays on. Goes inside forward 50. No mark taken. Comes to ground. Collotto just needs to gather him some momentum. What a snag of the day by Collotto in the pocket. There's a kilo of gourmet snags there for Alex Collotto that will not be beaten this afternoon for Jag Meatworks. We might have to double him up for the goal of the day there for Born to Build. Wakefield Sports Clinic as well. I think he might have the daily double. And the big man at about 6'5", he's just picked the ball up like a rover and sliced and diced with a beautiful inside-out snapper. Now what a goal at a critical stage of this game. And on the Sportal scoreboard, it is Sacred Heart 3 goal 5-23. Brighton Bombers 1-2, 8 deep into time on, second term.
Ball goes up, tapped there beautifully by Noble. The ball going not into the hands of anyone. Sacred Heart getting to it first, handballing it out, followed by a long kick, clearing it out towards their direction of play. Brighton intercept, followed by a kick in the opposite direction. Brighton grabbing a hold and goes straight into the hands of Gluyas. Directing players a bit, waiting for them. A kick there, looked like it was going to go to Corrado, didn't. Intercepted there by Brighton. A good tackle applied, a quick handball. And a great tackle applied by Sacred Heart to Evans. Umpire will do a ball up. Tapped by Brighton with another congestion. With second quarter time having been done, currently scores are 1-2, 8 Brighton, with 3-5-23 Sacred Heart leading, having played the second quarter.
So an impressive second term by the stronger of the two in Sacred Heart. So Sacred Heart adding 3 goals, 2 for the quarter. Brighton did not score. And we'll go to the goal kickers before we go to our halftime break. First goal was kicked by Lewis Benudo. Cooper Wilkins kicking one as well on the goal line. And Alex Collotto with the Jag Meatworks snag of the day. An unbelievable kick from that pocket. An old school checky, and Jakey Tucker kicking the opening goal of this match for the Brighton Bombers. Brighton Bombers did plenty of hard and heavy lifting, but didn't get the reward on the scoreboard as they would have seeked. And as all good teams do, Sacred Heart just biding their time with patience and persistence and hitting the scoreboard in the latter half of that second term, adding 3 crucial goals, and that gives them a 15-point margin at half-time. Been a magnificent first half for Classic Clashes, and our broadcast partners Filming Footy and Sports Interactive will bring back the second half after these key messages. Welcome back to the second half action here for Classic Clashes. This is the Adelaide Footy League Round 13 clash, brought to you by Filming Footy and Sports Interactive. Big thank you to our broadcast partners. Now we must, firstly off the top, put in a sincere apology to Connor Hartshorn, who kicked that snag of the day for Jag Meatworks. It wasn't Alex Collado. I'm sorry, Big KO, there's no 1 kilo gourmet snags for you. So congratulations, Connor Hartshorn, for his magnificent goal in the second term, around about the 25th, 26th minute mark. We'll give you that voucher after the game. Big thank you to Mrs. Collado and Mrs. Hartshorn, who I had some discussions with at half-time as we were getting a refreshment to gear us up for the second half, and they mentioned it wasn't one of the mother's son's goals, it was the other one, so we had to clear that up, and sincere apologies again to Connor Hartshorn. So Brighton with 1-2 to 3 points at quarter time, scoreless in the second term, and a very impressive Sacred Heart in the second term, kicking the three majors, giving them a 15-point lead after a 5-point deficit at quarter time. Third quarter, premiership quarter about to get underway. Darnez Karakaya to get us underway.
Yes, ball's been thrown up. Great grab there by Brighton. Remaining in possession, quick handball, followed by quick kick out. Brighton plays very much all running after the ball. Some quick handballs there, strategic play. Cleared straight down the line with a quick kick. Players yet to pick it up and keep a hold. Quick hand pass there. With a bit of a congestion forming, umpire will head over and it will be a ball up, first stoppage. Great tap there by Farquhar. Players struggling to pick the ball up, a kick off the ground, kicked up into the hands of Sacred Heart, intercepted there, followed by a quick kick by Venning. Sacred Heart grabbing a hold and clearing the ball out of the forward 50. Brian running after the ball, grabbing a hold and turning the ball back around the other way.
So Jakey Tarkwa will have a shot on goal, and looking busy, kicked the opening goal of this match.
Yes. Would be a great opportunity for Brighton, with the scores currently 8-23. Tarkar lines up, goes for goals.
He's kicked it out of bounds on the full. Unfortunately, Jakey Tarkar doing some really good work there for Brighton. So momentum, early doors, third term with the home team, the Brighton Bombers, and they will need the first score, the first goal in this premiership term, if there any chance, one would think. So Coach Backwell would be still quite impressed with his charges, despite being goalless in the second term, but they stay in contest for long periods of time. So it seems like an eternity since Tarka kicked it out of bounds on the full. Helicopter out to the far side. Unreasonable attempt, not seen by the umpire, but it will be a free kick regardless from the last possession out of bounds. Then on true centre wing far side. So thump back inside forward 50. One for the high flies. Keynes, beautiful mark. That's not Keynes, is it? It's very hard to see the numbers on that far side. And admittedly, I do need to go to Specsavers. So quite a difficult angle. Shallow pockets here at Brighton Oval. Will need his best kick. Stutter step, run up, and just going to fade to the right at the last second for a minor score on the Sportal scoreboard. It is Sacred Heart 3-5-23. Brighton 1-3-9. We're 4th minute mark of this third term.
Yes. Sacred Heart go for a short kick down the boundary line. And almost marked there by McDermott. Kicks it down the line, on the boundary line, or close to the boundary line. Bit of a pack forming, congestion. The umpire heading over, and it will be a ball up on the far boundary side. Ball's gone up, tapped down by Brun. Players trying to grab a hold and get the ball up. Umpire heads back over, and it will be another ball up within a metre of the previous ball up. Good tap there by Sacred Heart. Players trying to grab a hold with the ball bouncing low. Sacred Heart, Brighton clearing it out with a small kick.
Ooh.
Slides, and Sacred Heart intercept, quick handball there, and goes out on the boundary.
So Louis looks like he's been swung into the forward half for Brighton in this second half. Played a very, very busy first half in defence. Jack Louis. So ball thrown in, right half forward for Brighton. Big thump by Farquhar. Looking for some runners. Dishes out the back. Should land in the lap of Brinkworth as it does. So player down in the forward 50 there for Brighton. Not sure what happened. Could have been a cheap shot off the ball. Anyway, Kerrish goes on the 45 to McDermott. Industrious day out for McDermott. Very hard to see the players, whether they're actually from Brighton or Sacred Heart at the minute. Such is the cleanliness of the Guernseys for the Sacred Heart boys. So Noble up in the ruck. Started to get on top in the second half of that second term. Quick kick, quick hand pass out of contest. Kerrish with a tough ball to mark. Ball comes to ground. Some smart work. Collado has been clawed in. And umpire says my ball. We're about 25 from home for the Sacred Heart Old Collegians. With a handy 14-point margin. Next goal, critical from both sides. Some strong tackling again on Perry. We'll see a repeat ball up. Ricky O'Loughlin, John Cott comes up as the third man up. Almost in the back there, McDermott. Quick kick out of there by Jack Chalmers. Heads to the hot spot. Collado couldn't take the mark. Some good pressure at ground level. They managed to get this ball away from their defensive 50. And they're on here. Good punch, almost a double fister. Few men down on the contest. Ooh, almost taken high. Umpire says my ball. Have a ball up, right half forward flank for the Brighton Bombers.
Yes, you can definitely feel the pressure increasing. Ball goes up, tapped by Brighton, trying to clear it out. Players running after the ball, trying to get it up. Quick tap there. Again, both teams struggling to get the ball up, but cleared out with a short kick. Sacred Heart, quick handball, another kick out. Going towards Wilkins. Goes into the hands of Brighton. A good mark there and a good intercept opportunity for them. Goes for a long kick down the boundary line. Lots of players go up. No one succeeds. Cleared out, a quick handball. Sacred Heart running after the ball. Another pack forming and a good tackle applied there. Umpire heading over and it will be another ball up. Tapped straight out and into the hands of Brighton. Intercepted there by Sacred Heart. Quick handball. Followed by a kick to Perry. Goes for another kick into the hands of Sacred Heart.
So on that far side, Clayton Simons, fresh set of heels, driving ball inside forward 50. Beautiful mark, almost there taken. And a kick off the ground out of desperation. I think he's kicked it on the full. And it'll be a free kick to Sacred Heart in a goal scoring position. McDermott is queuing up there at the hot spot. This Kakure and just drifts to the far side for a minor score. Sporters scoreboard 3-6-24, 1-3-9. 9.5 minutes down, third turn. So Brighton desperate for the next goal in this contest. Going with the torpedo straight down the middle. Gets plenty of distance and carry right into the heart of the Brighton Oval. What a thumping kick. Stradican condition of plays in the direction there of Otis Carthy. Will not back down in this contest. And still standing up in the tackle. And we'll have a ball up. Very tough for players, commentators and umpires at the moment. So Noble in juxtaposition. Good tap by Book. It's a smart work at ground level. Kerrish comes out with it. His ball is smothered as it enters the forward 50. And brought to ground as Seagal. Somehow scooped out of the contest by McDermott to Kerrish. He's held up about 40 from home. And Sacred Heart just getting their defensive structure in the right position. So Noble, the double fister down to Kerrish. He's rode in a tackle. And he'll have another repeat ball up. So Noble just grabs it out of the ruck. His kick is smothered. McCall playing for the free kick. And umpire calls holding the ball. He's almost called into it. Hard to even know who's received the free kick. It looks like Sacred Heart will come out of it. And it will be Henry McAuliffe. So Henry McAuliffe, 19 goals this season. Does a minor snag. Featured in the best players on 3 occasions in the 2024 campaign. So relatively straight in front. Beautiful looking kick off the boot. They've struck first in the second half, Sacred Heart. And on the Sportal scoreboard, 4-6-30. Commanding position now. Brighton 1-3-9. 21-point margin. Entering the halfway phase of this third term. So pure weight of numbers and pressure, rewarded for effort. Very hard to give a free kick when there's not much opportunity for players to get rid of the pill. But umpires consistent with their ruling. And free kick given, and McCall of salutes for Sacred Heart. Back to the action.
Balls come back up from the centre. Tapped with players struggling to get it up. Right in the glue pot. Cleared out by Brighton. Doesn't go into the hands of someone directly. Quick handball there. Ball drops. Ball's very much stuck in a bit of a glue pot with a pack forming over the top of it. Umpire will head over. And it will be a ball up. Kicked out. Players trying to grab a hold of the ball, trying to keep it in. Seems like a tackle. Just out, goes out on the hands. Possibly.
So Hartshorn throwing his weight around. Trying to get into the head of Warner here. Bit unnecessary from Hartshorn, but he's quite prepared to play the mental battle as well. So it will be a shallow throw in. Hartshorn comes over the top of Farquhar. We'll have another repeat here one would think. So hard Sean and Farquhar, third man up. Ricky O, ball comes out. Couldn't quite pick it up. There was Jackie Chalmers. And then the ball goes out of play for a boundary throw in. About 55 from home here for Brighton. Desperate for the next goal in this contest. There's a lot of heavy lifting in the first half without reward on the scoreboard. Good sides like Sacred Heart will punish you when they get an opportunity. So Farquhar been doing a great job in ruck. First game at A-grade level for 700 days. Big gap between his round 18 debut and 2022. And he's battled manfully against Noble, who's one of the premier ruckmen, as well as Hart Sean. Ball comes to ground. Some strong tackling by Farquhar. Good smothering there by, good shepherding there by McDermott. And these two umpires have had to do that much balling up today. So right near the boundary line, just inside the 50-metre arc. So Hart Sean gets the tap. Dangerous position. Friendly fire for a couple of Brighton players there. Good contest. Benuto whacks it on the boot into open pastures. Some good work here by Rivers, but he's overrun the ball. Locks up Noble in the tackle. So the pressure meter's right up here. And Colotto and Ty Murphy exchanging a few barbs. Good work by Seagal. No relation to Stephen Seagal. Smart work, almost smothered the back of the shin there. And Otis Carthy receiving some unfair treatment here on the boundary line from Moore, who's been frustrated after getting tagged for most of the game here, Ethan Moore. So a game of yardages here. Good punch there by Farquhar. Only gets it as far as Moore. Dishes out a quick hand pass there to Brickworth. She stacks on the mill again. So Bluius lifted from the contest. Good punch again by Farquhar. Great attack on the pill. Goes to McDermott. McDermott out the back to Simons. Simons out to Brandon Smith. So Smith rolls through. Got one out the back and Colotto. Well done by Seagal. By Will Rivers. And beautifully led.
Great opportunity for Brighton. Goes for a short kick on the far boundary side, tapped by Sacred Heart and goes out on the hands. Umpire will throw the ball in on the far boundary side, about centre of the field. Comes in, good tap down. Bit of congestion with the ball going down and the umpire heading over. Will be another ball up. Players struggling to get it out of the pack. Attempted hand passes here. Umpire will do a ball up from the same location. No, ball is paid to Brighton.
Free kick upfield.
Bit difficult to see what happened there, but works in the favour of Brighton.
So I think Jackson Fox giving away the free kick unnecessarily. And Higgins in goal kicking position. It's been a long time since Jakey Tarker kicked the opening goal of this game. So Higgins deliberate approach, left footer. high up and under. I don't know if it's going to make the distance. One for the high flies. Ball comes to ground. Kick off the ground. Not sure who's kicked that there. Almost asking for a score review, and it's a goal. So beautiful soccer off the ground. We just come off the European Championships over there in Europe. And I think almost half of our goals have come off soccers off the ground. Now we'll have to get a bit of an update to see who kicked that, because the player hasn't turned around. We'll go back to the middle.
Ball's corn, back up. Taps there by Brighton. Right in the glue pot. Play is struggling to get the ball up. Good tackle applied there. Umpire will pay the ball to Brighton. Goes for a long kick towards the boundary line. Sacred Heart almost marked it there. Goes out on the boundary line. Umpire will do a ball up from the far boundary. Coming back into play, tapped there by Sacred Heart. The ball going straight down with some good tackles applied. Will be another stoppage. Ball's gone back up, tapped beautifully there by Brighton. Players rushing towards the ball, struggling to get it up in a bit of a glue pot with a pack forming. Having played just under 21 minutes. With Sacred Heart leading by 15 points. Ball goes up, tapped out of the pack. Sacred Heart grabbing hold, quick handball there, followed by a kick into open field. Players rushing to the ball.
So Warner just grabs it out of the contest, weaves onto his left foot, should go right down the throat there of Noble. Umpire doesn't pay the mark, probably held it long enough. Ricky O'Loughlin gets one out of from ground level. So players queuing up, pressure meter right up here. And they got a bit of a sniff here, Brighton. Need another goal before three-quarter time to really make a meal and get their ascendancy right in their own direction. So getting harder for the players, umpires and commentators. It's a goal up in the ruck. Could have been in the back in the end, but nothing's doing by the central umpire. Good tap there by Farquhar. Right foot snapper! And a beautiful goal to Nerlich. And Brighton are back. So Scotty Nerlich, absolute ripper of a right foot snapper, and the margin's back to 9 points on the Sportal scoop. So Nerlich, beautiful kick. So Scotty Nerlich in career game 200 today. Kicked a fair few snags, but no more important than that one. Played all of his career at the Brighton Footy Club.
Ball's come back up in the centre, cleared out into the hands of Sacred Heart. Remaining a hold, bit of a low kick, intercepted by Brighton, followed by a beautiful wide kick. Not quite marked there. Players trying to get the ball up. Looks like it goes out on the boundary, just off the hands. Umpire will do a ball up. We'll do a boundary throw in. The ball comes back into play. Goes into the hands of Noble.
She's unlucky there. No ball, big man, a bit clumsy. When the free kick's there, it's there to Otis Carthy. Captain playing an instrumental game here thus far. Not in a rush with about 2 minutes left on the clock. Had a bit of wind taken out of his sails. Kicks to the hot spot, drives one deep. Looking for a high flyer. No mark taken, lands in a puddle. Brinkworth just slaps it on the boot. Goes only as far there as Jackie Chalmers, who thinks he's within range. Man on the mark would have to be about 44 from home. Take his best kick. So 90 seconds remaining. All the action brought to you by Classic Clashes, celebrating grassroots greatness. Can Jackie Chalmers celebrate? Deliberate approach, got plenty on it. It's drifting wide, still one for the high flyers, and just trickles through off the pack for a minor score. Sportal scoreboard back to 8 points. Less than a minute remaining in this third term.
Ball's on the far boundary side. Tackle applied. Sacred Heart intercepting, grabbing hold, clearing the ball out, going towards the glue pot. Umpire will pay the ball to Brighton with less than a minute of play left. Brighton not in a rush, with the difference being 8 points. Goes for a long kick, bit of a risky spot, pack formed, cleared out, quick handball, quick pass. Sacred Heart intercepting, with Brighton grabbing back a hold, quick handball applied. Another hit. Weighs up his options. Goes for another long kick down the boundary line. Brighton quick handball. With quarter time siren blowing.
What a magnificent third term by the home team. Brighton Bombers got themselves well and truly back into this game. 2 goals to 1 in their favour in the third term. On the Sportal scoreboard, it's 4-6-30. 3 goals, 4-22. An 8-point margin. We'll quickly go to the goal kicks before our three-quarter time huddles appear before us. The goal kickers here for the Sacred Heart Old Collegians: Cooper Wilkins, Connor Hartshawn, Lewis Bernudo and Henry McAuliffe. McAuliffe, of course, kicking the only goal in that quarter for Sacred Heart. Jakey Tarker kicking the opening goal for the Brighton Bombers, and singles also to Sheffield off the ground into Nurlich. And amazingly, we've had 5 goals kicked to the northern end. 6 out of the 7 goals in this clash kicked to the northern end. Brighton will need to defeat that little toy and come out and outscore Sacred Heart in the last quarter. But Sacred Heart, impressively, fourth quarter specialists, won 10 fourth quarter out of 12 games this season, so expect them to come home strongly. We've got a nail biter ahead of us. Can the Brighton Bombers upset Sacred Heart on their own deck? We're about to find out after these key messages. Welcome back to this round 13 Adelaide Footy Clash, brought to you by Classic Clashes. Big thank you to Filming Footy Sports Interactive, our broadcast partners. I think we found our snag of the day, and unfairly we called it to Alex Colotto, but it was in fact Connor Hartshorn. So again, apologies to Connor. You will get the Jag Meatworks snag of the day, unless something miraculously can happen in this final term. And that's what Brighton Bombers have done for the majority of this play. Played miraculously well against the grain of what it was expected going into this clash. Brighton with a 5-point margin going into the first break, and the main break it was the Sacred Heart Old Collegians by 15 points and an 8-point margin as we turn for home. As we mentioned, Sacred Heart are the fourth quarter specialists, and we believe that they've won at least 10, if not 11 out of 12 fourth quarters throughout the season. There was no scores actually indicated throughout the updated scores throughout the game against Glenunga earlier in the season, so we know at least 10 of the games that they've actually won those fourth quarters. So going to be up against it here, Brighton, but they've played above themselves all day. Denise Karakay to bring us the fourth quarter action.
Tapped beautifully out by Farquhar. Brighton trying to grab a hold. Tapping it off the ground into a handball, followed by a short kick out. Goes towards the far boundary line, trying to keep it in. Players don't succeed and it goes out on the hands. Will be a boundary throw-in. Ball comes back into play. Not tapped by either ruckman. Cleared out by Sacred Heart. Players running to the ball, trying to get it off the ground. Brighton grabbing a hold, trying to handball it out. Going out on the far boundary side again. Second stoppage. Paid to Sacred Heart. Kicked straight towards their forward 50. Great mark there. Goes for a short kick. Brighton marking the ball, followed by a short kick. Handballed out. Ball stuck in a bit of a glue pot.
Yeah, very tough to see there's any prior opportunity there given by the umpire. And he's stuck in the mud, literally, there. Yeah. So, unfortunately, Jackson Fox will be the recipient of the free kick.
Trying his hands on a bit of an angle, about 35 out from goals. Could be a great opportunity for Sacred Heart. Lines up, doesn't quite go in the favour. It's paid as a behind.
So Brighton need to get their skates on. Goes the barrel again out from full back. And over-committing in the contest was Ricky O'Loughlin Johncock. So courage shown there. Still not sure that's Tommy McDermott on that far side. He's probably been one of the best players on the ground. And it is him, he plays on. Beautiful kick, deep entry. Clyde pushed out of the contest, not seen by the umpire. Kerrish wheels and deals, he's caught. Umpires, and they call it back. So, almost advantage paid, but the players just pulled the cue on the rack. And the ball will come back. It's a good clearing option right in front of the Sportal scoreboard. Another deep entry. Good punch out of that contest. Good roving works. Kerrish, classy player, goes inside forward 50. And Clotto almost punching the ball out of Hartshorn's hands there. We'll have a boundary throw in. About 30 for home for the Sacred Heart Old Collegians. Classic Clash is celebrating grassroots greatness. Big thank you to them today, our game day sponsor. Good tap by Clotto. Sorry, it was Hartshorn. Fox gets the hands to Dylan Moore. His kick smothered. She's a hot potato out there at the moment, and the pressure meter's right up for both teams. Umpire says my ball. We'll have a ball up about 30 metres from home here. So plenty of tense situations already in this final turn. Umpire's found a free kick out of nowhere here. So it looks like Tom McDermott will be the recipient. Very close, if not the best man on the ground.
Oh, there it is.
A test for his distance. Going to have to kick right on the 50-metre arc here. Got plenty on it. It's not going to make the distance. Comes off the... Oh, and a sucker off the ground for a minor score. And the Sportal scoreboard. 4-8-32, 10-point margin. Brighton Bombers 3-4-22.
Brighton currently in possession. Goes for a beautifully long kick. Hands go up. Sacred Heart almost marking it. Goes out on the boundary. Far side of the oval. It's been a common spot for the stoppages today. Umpire does a boundary throw in. Ball comes back into play. Brighton tap it. Cleared out by Sacred Heart. A good tackle applied there. Umpire will head over. Tension's definitely rising in the last quarter. Ball is paid to Brighton. It's difficult to make out plays, unfortunately, in these conditions. A beautifully long kick again on the far boundary side. Punched just out of the boundary.
So a beautiful golden fist sees that ball out of play. True centre wing on the far side. Potentially the ball had already gone over the boundary line and had for last possession out of bounds. So ball come back to Sanderson. Who does have the switch on if he's prepared to go back. Goes long down the line. Ball just trickles inside forward 50. Fight at ground level. Good tap out of the contest. Unfortuitously goes back in the hands of Sacred Heart. Not 15 play on, says the umpire to Rickley O'Loughlin Johncock. Still keeping the ball into play. Kerish. Oh, ill-directed kick. Almost finds Simons. He's dragged that in to the letter of the law and consistency purpose. Could have been holding the ball. So dangerous position. Sacred Heart 30 from home. Quick kick out of the contest. Plenty of numbers around this pill. And the umpire's seen a free kick. And it will be paid. A little bit of remonstrating on the mark. So Brighton do have the switch on. Also got Warner on the 45 if they want. End up going longer down the line. Good mark in the end. Drifting back there was Noble. He's been made to earn it today. Farquhar has been terrific in the ruck for Brighton. Battled manfully. Should be asked to play on. He is now. Lots of left footers in the team. Sacred Heart. Ball's tapped out of that contest and looks like we'll have a ball up about 30 metres from home for the Sacred Heart Old Collegians.
Umpire's got hold, ball goes up, tapped by Noble, I believe, cleared out by Brighton, goes straight into the hands of Tap.
It's tap.
Tap?
Yeah, it is tap. Yeah.
Goes for a long bit of a shallow kick. A great mark there by Brighton. Possibly Murphy. Haynes. Goes for a kick to Loy. Loy goes for a short kick to Chalmers. Directs his players. Goes for a long kick. Great mark there by Noble. Just put his hand straight up and it went straight into his hand. Goes for a short kick down the line. Sacred Heart holding onto the ball. Not taking any risks. Decides to go for a long kick into a bit of a pack. Ball slips out of the hands. Brighton intercepts. Sacred Heart now intercepts. Quick handball, kicking it in. Another handball. Cleared out with a kick. Goes straight into the hands of Brighton.
Good kick out of that back pocket. Finds Loy. And very serviceable down back, Jack Loy. So looking for a long target. Big book. Can he read it? The big man. He can. A little bit of a Bianco mark of the week contender by the big book. Plays on immediately. Gets it into the hands of Perry. Tarka almost giving away a free kick. Good work by Tap to Benudo. So pressure really starting to build here at Brighton Oval. Oh, sells some candy for the third time. Gives it out to Carthy. Carthy sizes up his options. Not much at home. 1 on 3. There's a push by Tarka. And it'll be a free kick to Sanderson. So Sanderson, get out of jail card, switches the ball. They're on that far side. Smart, clever kick, goes to McDermott, into Brinkworth. Starting to build here, Sacred Heart. Wilkins just pops over the top. And no mark taken there by Henry McAuliffe. And ball goes out of play on that far side for a throw-in. Almost hitting the halfway mark. No goals kicked so far in this third term. It's almost pushed out of the contest. Kept his feet. Kept them well. Good work there in the contest. Ricky O'Loughlin just overruns the ball at the crucial phase. So they're cleaning up here. Could have been a smothered kick. And I think they've called it that way. It is. And there'll be a throw up. True centre wing, far side. Next goal is huge in the context of this game. Good work by Book. Hopefully Barnaby on camera just got the big book in action for the Bianco Mark of the Week contender right in front of our broadcast position. Big thanks to Barnaby on camera, doing a tremendous job. And Darnez well equipped here in the broadcast position next to my good self, Matty Gale, bringing all the action here for Classic Clashes. It's good work there at ground level. A real hot potato. And we'll have another repeat ball up at left half forward for the Brighton Bombers.
Yes. The umpire throws the ball up. Good tap there by Farquhar. Umpire heads back over to the same area. Will be another ball up, go straight up. Missed tap there. Kicked off the ground. And almost mark there. Looks like it was a push in the back, paid to Sacred Heart. Goes for a long kick on the far boundary line. Tap there by Sacred Heart. Trying to pick the ball up, quick handball. Brighton intercept. Kick it, bounces back off the player. Cleared straight out. Goes behind the goal, behind the point post.
So last possession out of bounds, free kick. And a long kick there by Keynes. It's gone behind the ball. Ball just comes out of that contest. Umpire calls play on. Collado with plenty of class. Beautiful hand pass, sweeper. Benudo to Simon. Sizes up his options, lowers his eyes. And a beautiful kick. I think has found the chest there of Connor Wilkins. So the 20-year-old from Port Lincoln already kicked one snag in the second term. Playing just his second A-grade game. So Wilkins, deliberate approach, enters the tarmac. He's going to kick from about 40. Just drifts across to the left-hand side. And his ball dropped. Didn't quite add up as he kicked the ball for a minor score.
Brighton clearing the ball out, far boundary side. Short kick there to Perry. Clearing it. Bit of a smothered kick there. Sacred Heart running towards the ball, trying to intercept here. Quick handball. May have been a throw. Umpire heads over to the far boundary side. Ball is paid to Sacred Heart. Ball is paid to Brighton. Kicked into the forward 50.
So clearly a free kick given away by Noble in the back. An umpire obscured from the action, couldn't quite see it. And that could have been a real costly mistake there. We don't like decisions making scoreboard pressure, but that was a free kick there to Brighton, not seen by the umpire. Anyway, ball back to the action. Farquhar up against Noble. Noble grabs it out of the contest. Ball comes to the ground. Some smart work, but unfortunately that ball will trickle out of play. And it'll be a free kick there to Dewhurst. So Dewhurst yet to kick a goal after 31 games in the Sacred Heart Old Collegians Guernsey. Doesn't look like kicking one today, where goals are like diamonds in the rough. So Dewhurst finally called to play on. Long raking kick down the line. No mark taken, a couple of high flyers there. And the ball comes to ground, we'll have a ball up. True centre wing, far side, 17 minutes down. Final term on the Sportal scoreboard. So Brighton Bombers scoreless so far in this final term. Sacred Heart adding 3 behinds. Could have been a high tackle, not seen on Dylan Moore. Sorry, not Dylan Moore, Ethan Moore. Getting mixed up with the Hawthorn player. Kicking off the ground, trying to keep it in. Done well there. Dumps it back out of the defensive 50. Strong contest, good work by Farquhar. Great hands there. Ball comes to half forward for Brighton. Jakey Tarker sells a bit of candy. Left foot for 50. This will be a game winner. Oh, some great work by Jarman Seagal. Couldn't quite keep it in. And desperate measures taken. So the Brighton Bombers, have they got a couple of rolls left in the dice? There's some Jakey Tarker magic there. Couldn't quite pull it off.
Lewis in possession. Goes for a kick straight into a pack. Marked there by Brighton. Is paid to Sacred Heart. Quick handball. Taking his time. Looks like it's Gluyas. Goes for a short kick down the line to Moore. Slowing down the play a bit here. Moore goes for a long kick towards the boundary line. Noble goes up. Followed by another kick. Marked by Brighton. Good opportunity for them. Goes towards Chalmers. Grabs a hold. Goes towards Warner. Looks like it goes out on play.
So ball will be thrown in right in front of the Sacred Heart coach's box. It's game on, but time might get the not the friend here of the Brighton Bombers. So Farquhar been admirable in the ruck. Ball comes to ground. Strong tackling has been a significant part of this game so far, and States have ribbon. Ball, Kerish has an eerie, probably one of his rare mistakes today. Some good work there by Segal. His ball is smothered, goes to Farquhar. Good hands again by the big man. And good strong tackle there by Otis Carthy. He's been high amongst the best players. The captain. So Farquhar hits it into a dangerous position. Just hits a mud patch right at the top of that forward flank. Just caught over the run of the green by the man in green. It's a good tap there again by Farquhar.
Come on, boys.
A bit of a David and Goliath there with Jakey Tarker and Clayton Simons. Umpire doesn't see a throw out of that contest. Some good work there by McDermott. Strong tackle there, and an excellent tackle there by Curtis Perry. Bit of remonstrating. Temper's starting to flare. A few spot fires out there, as you can imagine, as the stakes have risen. Umpire seen a free kick. And we'll go to Jack Chalmers. Sorry, not Jack Chalmers. Darcy Gluyas. So Gluyas, left foot down the line. Looking for a target. Hartshorn ripped out of the contest. Some good work by Collado. The big KO just puts a big paw out and puts it into the hot spot. Strong tackle by Moore. Fortuitously bounces to Perry. And also taken down there was Higgins. So pressure meter right up for both teams. Time now the enemy of Brighton. It's good work by Farquhar in the ruck again. And the ball will be a repeat ball up. So 2 minutes remaining is the call. 10 points the margin on the Sportal scoreboard. And a strong mark there in the end by Joe Gluyas. So Gluyas, not his best kick. Good contest in the end by Collado. Ball comes to ground. Just another swarm of bees on that pack. They'll have a ball up about 40 metres from home for the Sacred Heart Old Collegians.
With the margin being 10 points. Umpire heads back over to the congestion. It's going to be a ball up. Sacred Heart trying to grab a hold. Ball goes back up. Players struggling to grab a hold. Another stoppage from the same spot. Umpire does a third time ball up. Brighton desperately trying to grab a hold. Great tackles applied here. The umpire heading back over. Will be another ball up. Let's see if players can get it cleared out. Tapped out, cleared out by Sacred Heart. Ball gets a bit stuck in the mud. Brighton working well with their tackles. Cleared straight out. Great mark applied by Sacred Heart.
So there's a free kick right on the siren here. I think the ball will come back to Ethan Moore.
You're a good man, mate. Spare me, Billy. All the temptation.
So Moore to have a shot after the siren. Kicks from right on the 50-metre mark. Jesus, almost gone the distance. Thank you. And the umpire says no score. So final scores here at Brighton Oval. Sacred Heart Old Collegians 49-33. Just did enough when it mattered against the inspired Brighton Bombers, who were very, very good at home today, but unfortunately no chocolates for them. 3-5-23 on the Sportal scoreboard. It's a 10-point margin in the end, but they had to earn it this afternoon, Sacred Heart, and as all good teams do, they get an opportunity to win a few ugly games throughout the season, and that happens to be one of them. Let's go to the goal kickers, and it was just goalless last term for both teams. We have singles to Cooper Wilkins, Connor Hartshaw, Lewis Benudo and Henry McAuliffe. Singles to Jakey Tarker, Scotty Nerlich and Lachlan Sheffield. And in the final term it was 1 point Brighton to 3 points in Sacred Heart Old Collegians. So only the 7 goals. We said the 7 goals would be the magical milestone for the game. But Denise, it was actually 7 goals in accumulated score. That was the winner in the end. So it was a pretty tough battle out there today.
It was a bit of a low-scoring game, which was as expected with the weather conditions. Lots of blue pots on the field. Was a bit hard for players to hold onto the ball, let alone get it out of the mud at times.
Certainly was. Now, after the last 3 clashes, Sacred Heart have won all 3, and including today, that's 4 in a row against Brighton. Last year we did the clash, which was magnificent down at Glenelg Oval, but today, back at the Brighton Oval. Both these clubs, a lot of players that have played for Sacred Heart as juniors, or Glenelg as well. So they know each other pretty intimately. Let's just look at the final 5 games of the season for both sides. We'll look at the Brighton team first. Now, Brighton will need to win at least 2 of these games, you'd think, to stay above the relegation zone. And they've got Paine of Norwood Union away in round 14. Round 15, they've got St Peter's at home. Very winnable game. Round 16 sees them out on the North East Road, taking on Teachtree Gully away. They've got Port Districts at home in round 17. And they will play Broadview away in round 18, which could be playing off for relegation. Let's face it, both teams are hovering around that area. Now, the final 5 games for Sacred Heart sees them take on Broadview at home next week. They've got a couple of tough clashes coming up after that. Round 15, they've got Port Districts away. Round 16, Glenunga at home. Golden Grove at home in round 17. And will finish the season away to Prince Alfred Old Collegians. So they'll get some couple of pre-finals in there in round 15 and 16 against District and Glenunga. And that'll either consolidate themselves in the top 2 or a potential slide down to 3rd. But the way they're going, 6 in a row. Done enough today in 2nd position with now 11-2 record. Brighton will hit the finish line today with 3 wins, 1 draw and 9 losses in 9th position. So they're not going anywhere at the moment, but we wish them all the best as they look to stay up in Division one in 2025. Denise, we're going to have a real good look at these best players, because it's going to be very, very hard to give the Archies best on ground player today, as well as the 3-2-1. But we will give the snag of the day to Connor Hartshorn. I think it's about the 25th minute mark of the second term. Apologies again, we did call in Alex Collotto. They do look very, very similar, and very fortunate and thankful to the two mothers of those two players who gave us the correct information, and we apologise again to Connor Hartshorn for him winning the kilo of snags for Jag Meatworks, and he'll be able to pick up those 1 kilo of gourmet sausages down there at Arndale Shopping Centre. Big thank you again to our broadcast partners, Filming Footy and Sports Interactive. Also to Classic Clashes, our game day sponsor, celebrating grassroots greatness. And we'll also big thank you to the Adelaide Footy League scoreboard, brought to you by Sport on Hahn, Filming Footy for their footy stats, powered by Dartfish, Farmers League for the Coach of the Week. I think it's Division 4 this week, and the best on ground. We'll have a bit of a converse off air about that one. We've done the snag of the day, so big thank you again to the goal of the week, brought to you by Born to Build. I reckon we might have another contender there. I think that one will almost go through as a double contender. And the mark of the week, brought to you by Bianco, mark of the week. And I think the big book, Alexander Book, for his contender. We have to be pretty close to the Bianco mark of the week on our broadcast side, Denise.
Yes, definitely.
So big thank you for those that have viewed the game live right across this beautiful land of Australia and potentially abroad overseas. And those that are about to watch it in the future, thank you very much for your patronage. Big thank you to the Brighton Footy Club, being superb with their hospitality this afternoon. We'll bring back the round 14 clashes next week for Classic Clashes, and we big thank you to those who have supported us throughout the week. And well done to Sacred Heart, who have gone home with the chocolates. Don't have to go far down Brighton Road to salute today, but they've done what they needed to at the right time. And after a 5-point deficit at quarter time, they went to the main break, 15-point leaders, 8 points at the final break, and a goalless last quarter. Well, able to extend it to 10 points, and that was the final margin on the Sportal scoreboard. Big thank you to going to call him Bianco Barnaby over there. Big thank you to Barnaby on camera, Denise Karakaya on our broadcasting team in the commentary box, and Matty Gale. We're going to sign off for this round 13 clash. We'll catch you at the footy next week, and bye for now.